back at it again on a cold but sunny day. Very frequent here, very frequent indeed. And with a new day comes a new story. With yesterday's big news being some dramatized event of a fella on a roof setting fire to the roof and throwing tiles at people down Hayton Ave. So basically, around like 10 a.m. in the bleeding morning, this fella down the avenue just thinks, you know what, I'm gonna get on top of a roof and start causing some fucking havoc. So he gets out his lovely green petrol can and starts pouring it over the roof and drops a fag on it, I think. And of course, boom de yada, flame starts. The fella nonchalantly walks about, I think shouting out something. I kind of wish we got to hear about what kind of things he was saying. And because I want to get, you know, kind of gauge the motivation to it all, you know, like what brought him to be on top of a roof and like pouring like petrol onto the roof and starting a random fire. At some point during this 5-hour-long standoff with the police, where we had stuff like people with riot shields coming up and hoses shooting at him. Apparently they managed to negotiate him down. From one picture, or one video I saw, it looked like they negotiated him down with a strong hose to his legs. But either way, he came down after a bit. Not after burrowing a hole into the roof of said restaurant, cafe. I think it was a pizza place. Anyway, it says he burrowed into it like some sort of weird mole man. So it cut off the whole road, no cars could get through, and any car that did get through got tiles and like crap thrown at it from this fella. So he wasn't trying to get anyone in particular. This fella was just angry. Like, I've been waiting on the news because they've been doing like updates to the point where some of them were like every 10 minutes. With there being like who showed up, you know, like it was some sort of emergency services party. They were like, oh, police are here. Oh look, fire engines are here too. Yep, let's start this fire party. I am now on Instagram, and I will be putting reminders of stuff like videos on there. I'll be posting like everyday pictures of what I'm getting up to, so you can find all that juicy biz. Lovely stuff, eh? For the few of you that think there's not enough of me already, there'll be something you can enjoy between videos. Oh yeah, they made a trailer to like The Incredibles 2, which is actually, the first one at least, is actually my favourite of the Pixar movies. I think it's genuinely quite a heartwarming story, really. And it has sort of that, it kind of embraces its own campiness and style that made kind of the golden age of comics really great. It was genuinely a fun film with genuinely fun characters, and I'm kind of wanting to see where they go with it. I mean, the trailer is just kind of your bog standard trailer for me. Nothing really stood out for me. I mean, I was kind of happy to see stuff like the Underminer there for a bit, because I thought he was just a throwaway gag at the end of the first one. But, you know, it's interesting. Because the thing I want to see is if it's going to have some form of satire of comics as they are now, or at least, you know, or superhero movies as they are now. I kind of wonder if there's going to be like, I don't know, like Mr. Incredible is going to be seeing like posters of films that are starring somebody acting as him. Oh my god, if I actually predict that, I'll be so happy. You know, kind of a bit like how in Logan there was that bit where, well, there was quite a big bit about that of that X-Men exists in the X-Men film universe as a comic. Like, I thought that was quite a neat idea, and I don't know. I kind of like to see Incredibles kind of have some form of acknowledgement of other mediums that popularize superheroes, you know? And plus, since there's such a blank slate, since, you know, there's not like a history behind the Incredibles, they can write anything they want. It's not like when you make like a Marvel movie. You've got to kind of adhere to the comics somewhat, you know? The kind of neat thing about the Incredibles having a blank slate is that they can go anywhere with it. And they can take it dark routes, they can take it fun routes. It's still ripe for, you know, changing it up, you know? And that's what's kind of got me excited about it. I'm gonna think about seeing it. I'm really funny with movies because I don't always like to see them in the cinema because I don't like spending a lot of money and then feeling remorse for it, you know? I feel like it taints my movie experience sometimes go to see it in the cinema. I've got relatively high expectations for it. I think it should be alright. I can't see... Well, unless, you know, they kind of do what they've been doing with a lot of the other ones, the sequels, like, you know, like the Cars sequels and the Toy Story sequels. I know it's kind of like not a great thing to rag on because everyone kind of liked Toy Story 3, but after looking back at Toy Story 3, I feel like it was a bit more of a hollow sequel than at least Toy Story 2, you know? Because it follows the same beats. I know I'm kind of following YMS's video with it because he made a great video about how if you like Toy Story 3, you're essentially like, you need to kind of acknowledge that it is kind of the same movie again. Yeah, today, no, I didn't notice, I didn't say what we're going to be up to today. You see, I'm going to be holding a film club with the theme being feel-good movies. Because sometimes, you know, it's always good to have like movies that kind of challenge you and kind of get you really thinking, but at the same time, I think it's good to kind of have a comfy place with film. And a film that kind of knows how to do it well. And when I say, like, you know, a comfy film, I don't mean something that hasn't got, say, like stakes or hasn't got any form of, you know, drama. I kind of mean something that takes it lightly and in its stride. Like something that's got kind of a levity to it. I really like that word, levity. To, you know, level up your spirits, you know. So anyway, on the pickings today, I have in my backpack the Princess Bride, which those of you who have checked out my Instagram would know I just bought recently from Amazon. Awesome stuff. Let's see, what else did I bring? I brought Ferris Bueller's Day Off, pretty much the quintessential feel-good movie. Absolutely essential. You can't have a feel-good sesh without Ferris Bueller. I mean, can you think of one movie that doesn't make you smile as much as that, you know? Let's see, what else did I bring? Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Probably another comedy. What would I bring? Oh yeah, I brought Guardians of the Galaxy. I haven't seen the sequel yet. I've heard good stuff about it, but at the same time, it's one of those things where I'll watch the film and I don't care for having a sequel. You know, I kind of feel like I got all my enjoyment out of the first one. I don't need to go back to the universe, you know? I'm really bad for sequels because you have to be a very specific sequel to gain my interest. I mean, if your film is so good that it quenches my entire thirst for it, I'm not a greedy fella. I'm not gonna want more of that world. I know I can get it from that world, you know? It's kind of like when people say, why would you remake that film? The original was great, and to just retread it just wouldn't do the source justice, you know? I wasn't sold on the trailer for it, you know? Because I was sold on the first one because it's like a breath of fresh air. But now that I've had that breath, you know, it's gone, you know? Now I'll go back to my cave of hating every contemporary film now. Anyway, another film that's kind of making the rounds right now. I know it's very film-esque today, but I think that's what's trending right now, a lot of films. We have a film that I haven't seen, yeah. Another one, yeah. We have Black Panther. Personally, I'm not crazy on the MCU movies, so I'm not pushed to them, you know. I think it was just mainly because I've been disappointed with them kind of merging together after a while, and how I feel kind of like like I'm just being part of the contemporary crowd. I feel like I'm giving money to a greedy god when I go see those films. Or is that just me? I mean, I'll see it when I get round to it. Seeing it early, nah. What everyone and the dog has been talking about on it though is its kind of racial I'm not gonna say diversity because that's not what I want to highlight on it. I think it was more like the divisiveness of it, you know? Whether it was kind of a good idea to kind of sell a film that's such like a political product, you know? I mean, I kind of wonder how much of this politicalness, yeah, whatever, if that's a word, yeah, was actually made by the marketing, or has it just been kind of lucky, you know? Because I know that it's made a big impact, you know. Because I don't think it's a good or a bad thing when you use, you know, the free market to advertise your film. I mean, if anything, that's kind of the best way to market everything because it's more natural, you know. It's not like it's not like, you know, just putting adverts everywhere, and well, which they have been doing anyway. But I kind of wonder, is it good to politicize a film to the point where it's like, where it's practically being sold on the racial diversity of a cast rather than the actual product, you know? I kind of wonder if it might even add some, like the political bias of it might change critical feedback on the film. Like, do you think there'll be critics that'll say that they'll say it's bad, and then or they'll be scared to say it's bad? But you see what I mean? It's kind of like the whole, Ghostbusters gate, where for some reason this film that seemed to be hated by everyone got a fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. It didn't really make any sense. I kind of wonder if it might have been sort of the political meddling of it, with critics being kind of scared to say it's bad because of the feminist stance on it, being like the film was a giant hurrah for feminism. When films, they're not political statements. They change people, but they're not they don't change the world, kind of thing, you know what I mean? I feel like it's not going to change people, it's going to be, you're going to get more people kind of, the only people that it's going to be affecting are the people that already agree with it, you know? So I wonder if there's any people that, I don't know, as I said, I'm just, coming up with thoughts that may or not be, may not be controversial. I'm just adding some spice to what's your, you know, your opinion? Because I watch a lot of films and I dabble a little bit in political opinion. And I think it's always great when we get talking about films more and how they affect the world in its culture, you know? And by the looks of things, this film is going to be a big cultural impact. So why not start the chat already, you know? I think I'll end it here. Anyway, it's been a pleasure talking to you fellas and fellettes. Please do leave a comment about the stuff I was talking about what if you're looking forward to the films and like whether you think I was talking crap. Bobbity boo. Say something about that. I'm always wanting to hear what you think. And woof! Oh, here he is, come on. And with that, I'm gonna be toodling off. Anyway, toodles, my doodles. Go stroke some poodles.